Of a wondrous battle which took place under the water in the midnight sea with the Herrings in Norway, and in the air above the water among the geese and ducks towards midday on the Croatian borders or frontier in this last past month of December, which one calls Christ month, in the year 1587. A historical, trustworthy, and veritable telling and relation of the reported battle or struggle. It is, good-hearted reader, indubitable that on this last past 8th of October in Mecklenburg, after long and varied crashing together and fighting of the Herrings in the Norwegian midnight sea, one part beset the other so hard and forcefully that the sailors in the places designated for catching herrings, although they thrust their punting poles or oars under the water, yet the herrings were found to be packed so thick upon each other that the sailors were markedly bewildered, for they saw the said oars stand upright and stay stuck so, though the sailors did catch one which came particularly close to them, disclosing itself as if it wanted to say, "See, here I am, catch me." This one looked in colour like a burning coal, giving off flames and marked with all kinds of letters which were as hard as iron, as if they had been imprinted. What, then, such letters, depicted above after the real thing, and sent to those at the University of Rostock to give their opinion thereon, mean, since the principal herring was soon sent to the King of Denmark because of its wonder, we will clear up below, after we have made a trustworthy relation not only of this herring battle in the north around midnight, but also of another battle in the south around midday, as follows. On the 3rd and 4th of this last past December, unspeakably many ducks and geese flew on the frontier of the Croats, or, as one also calls it, Croatia, by the upper Bosnia, which has now been made subject to the Turks, in Bihać. So many that the water and land all around was full of fowls, which for 5 whole nights made a great uproar and noise and waged war with each other in the air, striking each other with their beaks, such that many hundreds of them, stricken and wounded or quashed, fell from the air, dead and alive, downward to the earth. Accordingly, some of the citizens of Bihać collected 280 of the several hundreds of them, when, the next day, old and young alike ran out of the city and brought back corves, baskets, and sacks full of the same. As a known truth, the headman of the town of Bihać, named Fritz or Frederick Lehrman, wrote this, in nearly the above words, to Archduke Charles of Austria, as well as how some 200 or so of the ducks and geese were hung up to be smoked. That is, however, enough for now about the history of the said battles told in short. The explanation and interpretation of the same now follows. Explanation of the wondrous tale of the herring and duck wars, what the same is approximately to betide. The explanation of this battle needs, in truth, no Daniel, as in Daniel chapters 5 and 7, nor any Joseph, as in Genesis chapter 41, for it is evident from the first through the letters which were found on both sides of the fiery, flaming caught herring, and as plain as day at the beginning on one side are the 4 Latin letters VICI, which is to say, I conquered. After that are 2 others, HA, which betide haleces, anseres et anates, herrings, geese, and ducks. Lastly, however, are 4 letters, namely INLI, which show in what power this thing has happened, namely in LI, that is, in the power of the 11th and 9th letters. On the other side of the herring stands, in the middle, a character or symbol like a Hebrew sheen. The 3 points of a crown, which, along with a small round circle, were found on this symbol, indicate and are ascribed to the conqueror, who is not only trine, but also one, which is to be understood through the V on one side and the N on the other, with 2 I's infixed as unities along with the said circle. Thus hast thou here not only waywardness through the flying animals in the air, as well as through the fish and herrings in the sea, which, if one interprets the waters as peoples, is like chapter 13 of Revelation, plainly shown, but also the conqueror of the same clearly indicated, to whom the crown of victory must be justly assigned, and who wants to take all Christ-believing human beings, especially in this present year of 1588, about which it has for a long time been written and said how remarkable and wondrous that same year would be, into his godly gracious shield and shelter, so that we, after having long faced adversity, may for once say, along with the royal prophet David in the 45th Psalm, Helper in the tribulations which have overwhelmed us. Printed in Cologne by Gottfried von Kempen at the city wall in the year 1588.